Hello everyone, my name is Jordan, also known as Scraps, and today I will teach you guys how to create kind of like a Martin Garrix type of Ibiza tonality drum set to play along with your synths and kind of get an insight of how to, recreate the sounds that you want to go after. Then we'll move on to chord progression split. This is a key tip I learned from FM Magazine, and it solved a lot of my problems, and so I want to teach this with you guys, or actually to you guys. So enjoy the Martin Garrix type of tonality remake that I've been working on, and I'll show you how to make this and the chord progression split. Alright, so one of the things you want to have done before you start any combinator, any presets or prefixes, you want to go down to your BPM and you want to type in 128. Actually 129 is what I found that song out to be. Anyways, I'm going to go to my utilities, go to combinator, create a combinator. Inside this combinator, I want to create a Kong drum designer. Now this is kind of important. If you want to add some bus effects, all you have to do is hit tab and attach something like, I don't know, I'll create an RV7000 advanced reverb, but I'll hold shift so that way it doesn't connect. I want to take the output and plug it into our audio input for the RV7000 and do it for the input of Kong to output of RV. Okay, and I'm also going to click like a pretty interesting preset. It's called Treetops. I want to turn this down so that way when we use it later, and even if we add like things like a line 6 bass amp, it actually auto routes, so we don't need to mess with that. So for our first cell, we're going to create a physical tom-tom, and I'm going to hit a few notes to see where it lands in the pitch. So we want this to be very, very low because I'm actually just going to set this up. So drum cells 1 through 8 are going to be low. Drum cells 9 through 16 are going to be high. And I'll show you that with a few workings of how to create this. So right now we have a low tom. I'm going to detune it some more. So I'm going to turn tune 2 all the way down to 0. I'm going to turn T1 and the pitch of tune 1 and pitch, and we're going to see how it sounds. One of the things you want to do is turn off the stick level. It kind of creates some emphasis that we do not want. So I've turned my pitch down to -45. I've turned my T1 or tune 1 to 52 and my tune 2 to 0. I want to boost the size and the shell to about 60. Then what I'm going to do is for the effects, I'm going to create a tone. This creates the kind of pluck we hear in Ibiza house. And so with the pitch, I'm just trying to match the tone of the tom-tom. That sounds fine to me. I'm going to work on drum cell 16 so that way you guys can hear the difference. I'm going to go to my physical tom-tom. I'm going to turn T1 or tune 1 to 85 and my pitch up a smidge. And I'm also going to attach a tone to this. So this kind of gives you a little bit of insight of how to create Ibiza style drums or Ibiza style percussion. In a few minutes, I will show you how to create a chord progression split. This is very easy to do if you have an arpeggiator, or if you don't have an arpeggiator, I'll show you how to do this manually. Okay, so what I have now is a little bit of a pattern for basically an arpeggiated pattern for my crazy synth. I'm going to play through the arpeggiation. I'm going to show you how to record a melody by hand, and I'm also going to show you how to split this up and break it between different instruments. Alright, so that was the arpeggiated pattern, but now I'm going to show you something completely different, which is creating a melody by hand. So I'm basically constructing with my MIDI keyboard a rhythm that I like. So I'm gonna record something like this. So something like that. So here we go. Okay, so now that we have this pattern, I'm going to, let's see if I can do this. I'm going to go to my racks up here at the top, and let's scroll down to somewhere new here. And I'm going to create a combinator. I'm going to open up the combinator, and I'm going to search for a Reason Factory sound. So this is more of an FM synth, so I'm going to probably be looking for something to kind of either match it or something that is the complete opposite of it. So for my instruments, I'm going to go to all instrument patches. I'm going to choose my, let's go with a synth lead. Let's see how this sounds. That sounds good to me. So I'm gonna go to I'm gonna get out of edit mode. I'm going to go inside of my clip that I've created, and I'm gonna choose all of the lows. So anywhere below C2. So I'm gonna choose these rhythms down here. I'm gonna hit Command C, or if you have a PC, that's Control C. I'm gonna create a new clip by hitting W. It's a shortcut to right. What I'm going to do now is that I'm going to go all the way to my first bar. I'm going to hit Command V. That should instantly drop the patch already in here, or actually the notes. Yep. And I'm also going to see how this sounds too. Oh, I'm sorry, I plugged it into the wrong combinator slot. Well, that's okay. Let's see how it sounds now. Sounds pretty good so far, but what I'm going to do now is I'm basically just going to EQ it pretty fast, because I noticed that it lacks a lot of gain input. So now let's see how it sounds. So that sounds pretty cool. And if we have a listen to it along with the synth, it should start to make more sense. That's a way of splitting up your chord progressions and creating melodies from it. It's an interesting technique, and it definitely saves me a lot of time. Hopefully these tutorials have helped you out some, and I'll be able to create more crazy music later on. Be sure to tell your friends, your family, everybody you want to show these tutorials to or want the information from. Thanks for joining me, and I'll check you guys out later for another crazy effects and crazy tutorials. I'm only going to get better from here on out. Thank you guys for the support, the love. I do appreciate it, and you know, who knows? Anybody can take any source of information from these videos and remix it however you want. I love you guys always, and stay safe. Peace.